Hello everyone, today we're at Proctors Park Road to look at the Severn Trent pumping station, just on the entrance there. Let's have a look around. I've come here, it's a site of interest because there's a theory, just in my opinion, I think there was something going on here around the latter part of last year. Obviously it's a pumping station. I'm going to come over here and we'll look at something a bit more scenic. Obviously big doors. So the latter part of last year, which would have been the latter part of 2023, in October the whole place flooded quite badly. And on the fields there in the middle, it was about a foot of water, foot 10 inches, something like that. So threatening, but didn't really cause any damage or anything. One, not to my knowledge. Then there was another one about the end of November. It flooded again, and this time it's a little bit worse. This time there were 2 foot, and it was very threatening, and it did cause some damage. Got some footage of the New Year's Day of 2024 when it was really quite bad, and it was very, very threatening, and it was on the verge of flooding and everything. And the following day, the following evening, it did flood quite bad, and there was 3 foot of water through the whole field, so right across there. So if you look at that van there, I'm going to zoom right in. See that white van there? It would have been through the doors. And the surrounding fields, if you go along the A6, the dual carriageway across the back, it when it rains and it floods and the river soar bursts its banks, it's really it's not always flooded here. So I kind of wonder whether that pumping station has an underground pipeline. Obviously it does for sewage. I'm no expert, I'm just surmising a theory. I'm putting it out there that has the option, the capability to pump any kind of water. It's not just sewage, anything that's required of it. And after New Year's Day, when it flooded, and I'll show you some footage of the New Year's Day. Unfortunately I haven't got any footage of the floods leading up to it. You just have to take the word for it, and I'm sure there's enough people out there that will confirm that. But I think that there was something going on here. I'm going to choose my words carefully, but I think them floods could absolutely, positively been prevented. And after the New Year's Day, after the flooding that went on for about 10 days here, and it started to calm down a little bit, but it was still flooded, surrounding areas were still flooded, but it was receding on the park. And I spotted a couple of Severn Trent vans parked outside it, and it looked like it was about to go again. But it didn't, and yet the whole place was saturated. And it should have flooded, but it didn't. And I'm just putting some bits of the jigsaw together on what I've seen. And it doesn't always flood here. But the fact that it was a foot in October, 2 foot in November, and then the full 3 foot plus up to your waist, which was very dangerous. A lot of people here had their cars ruined, had their vans ruined, had all their possessions ruined, and as a result a lot of people have had to leave because they've had no choice. And some people are on here awaiting housing. You know, they're in a desperate situation, some of these people, that they've not necessarily got the means. We've got a housing crisis in Leicester, probably the same everywhere. It's not easy just to go and rent somewhere because all the social housing was sold off for profit by the government. So it caused a lot of damage, a lot of heartache, a lot of trauma to a lot of people, and I think it could have been prevented. So I'm stopping short of saying that it was a deliberate attack or negligence, either. Something was wrong, because that pumping station has the capability to prevent it each and every time. And when it flooded in the New Year's Day and the following days, nobody came in to help. There were no services here, and yet in Corn when it flooded and other places it flooded, it was all over the news. But not a mention here, no, not a thing said at all. And nobody came to help. There was no fire brigade, there was no police or council that would come to help, or any kind of helping hand at all, which is in my view a disgrace. But one thing I will say, that on the New Year's flood, a lot of people did gather at the gate at the front to film what was going on, but nobody came in to offer any help. So yeah, that's my theory, that them floods could have been prevented, and quite possibly could have been a deliberate, coordinated attack. I've got to say it, because if it's preventable and it's not prevented, then it's an attack. It's an attack on these people, these vulnerable people, that are probably here through no fault of their own, in very desperate situations, probably escaping violent relationships, domestic abuse, or just trying to get off the streets. This is the reality of it. I don't think anyone in their right mind would want to come and live like this, that they're coming to live like this because there's no other option. I'm sure there's people at Severn Trent, employees past and present, that will confirm this is absolutely preventable. So it's just a theory I'm putting out there. It's just my opinion, my humble opinion, because it never flooded on previous heavy rain when it should have. But when it did flood, it shouldn't have. It doesn't add up. It just seems very, very strange. So this is Barrow soar pumping station. Okay, I'll leave that there. Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. Take care.